Thank you for tuning in. This is Conversations with Tumi. I am your host, Taran Shakir. I also go by Tumi, so you can call me that, whatever your preference is, Taran or Tumi. And this is the very first episode, and I'm just going to go over what I am going to be discussing throughout the podcast. So I'm basically going to go into it personal and also talk about my faith and spirituality as well as my holistic journey and also my love for music, my individuality, and what it's like being myself and my single life and so on. So I'm going to tell y'all about me, the host. So I am a college graduate from Sacramento State. I had majored in communications and also I was raised by my auntie and grandma. I came from a good background. I was sheltered for the most part, but at the same time, I got exposed to real world issues. So growing up, I had also a good balance, of course, if you will. And also, I came from a church background, and what I like to sing, and I'm an introvert, believe it or not. I can be socially awkward, and I can be very goofy as well. So, also, I want to tell y'all about my life story. So, my mom and dad, I did not grow up with them is because they were incarcerated growing up. It was regarding gang related drug dealing conspiracy, and it was tough. You know, it took a toll on me mentally, and also it took a toll on me with my self esteem and, not having them there for like my life events such as like my sweet 16, growing up, my graduations, and all that stuff. It was pretty tough for the most part. And, you know, growing up, my auntie and grandma, they took me to go see them often as much as they could. And my relationship with them, I also got to talk to them on the phone as well as visiting them. And it was, I thank God that my auntie and grandma gave me the opportunity visiting them and making sure I had that open communication with them. And also, I guess you can say, well, this is like, I guess, psychiatrist therapy. I guess you could say, that's, I guess, like the reason how I am, if that makes sense. Like, I guess, like, why I'm so, like, closed off and I could get attached easily. I guess you could say that. That's where, where it came from, my parents being after this stuff. And yeah, like growing up at school, I didn't really have much friends, and I've also been told that I was an old I was an old soul. And the positive thing about this was I beat statistics. I was able to graduate both high school and college on time. And forgive me, y'all, I am so nervous. Like, I have social anxiety, so if I kind of stumble a little bit, it's because I'm nervous, y'all. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, that, and also not only did, you know, I overcome my parents' incarceration, I also battled cancer. So how it all began was I was at school, it was PE, and we were playing basketball. And so when we were playing basketball, the ball had apparently hit the corner of my mouth. It was like bump. It didn't really hurt. It was one hit, but it didn't really hurt. And so later that evening after school, when I went home, I noticed it was a little lump inside of my mouth. And I didn't really think of it. I thought it was just a little lump. It didn't hurt. It was just there. And I was like, it will go away. I kept biting on it and like messing with it because it was there, but I figured it would go away eventually. Because it wasn't hurting, I didn't mention my grandma or auntie about it. Show them, I didn't show them any of, you know, I didn't show them the lump. So I was just like, whatever. So like about like a month or a couple months later, my grandma took me to the dentist, and the dentist had saw the lump in the corner of my mouth. And when he saw it, he got concerned and he wanted me to go see an oral surgeon. So he recommended me to one. And so eventually I got surgery on it. And fast forward about less than a month later for the results, my auntie had picked me up from after school early, and I got confused because I didn't know what was going on. So auntie picked me up, and so I was nervous because I didn't know what to expect. And so auntie and I, we prayed before we went in, and fast forward, the oral surgeon had told my auntie and I the results, and I didn't really understand what he was saying half of the time, but what I could remember and what concerned me was my auntie. She was crying, and I had a confused face, and also I was nervous because my auntie was crying. And so when the oral surgeon left, I asked my auntie what was going on, what was wrong, and she said that it. The oral surgeon said that it was a form of cancer. And when my auntie told me this, I was crying and I was scared. I didn't really know much about cancer. I thought, that she was gonna, I assumed that you lose your hair and then you die from it. In my family, it's a history of cancer. I didn't really know much of it. And so this was on April 26, 2007. I was diagnosed with rhabdomyosarcoma, which is a tumor in the connective and soft tissues, and usually kids get it before they become a teenager. And I was blessed that they had caught it on time because rhabdomyosarcoma is very aggressive, and the chance of survival is little to none. So I was very blessed. And so I had to go through chemo and radiation. I went through chemo for 1 year, and I went through radiation for 1 month, and I was to get surgery again so they could take the tumor out. And throughout the journey, it was tough. My faith was tested, and I felt alone outside of auntie and grandma's support. Like, I didn't really have much friends, and then like kids would run away from me. So it was pretty tough, but also I kept going. I took it with ease. I depended on God, and it was a long journey. And the radiation, it burned my scar area. I did lose my hair, and I lost a lot of weight, and I vomited a lot too, and also chemo made me fatigue, but I kept going, and I've been through this a year, and then throughout tests, different tests like blood work and checking on my cells, it came back negative, and that was a good thing, and I was relieved. They wanted to continue on with my chemo treatment. It is because they wanted to follow up and they wanted to take precaution because, the type of cancer that I had, it was very aggressive. And so, by the grace of God, I got through that. And with it also in my cancer journey, I got depressed, and also because of my scar, I had lost my hair at the time, and because of the burn on my scar area at the time, I had low self-esteem. I didn't think I was pretty, wasn't good enough. I didn't feel good about myself. And then also, when it came to like schoolwork and partnerships, no one didn't want to work with me at school. So I was pretty much mostly by myself. I ended up leaving the school without telling anybody. Like, the type of person that I am, I don't really make announcements. It's just like, I'm not really a confrontational person in general. Like, if I feel like something isn't right, or if it's going to be like negative or conflict, I just run away or walk away from it. No announcements. I just do it. I don't know if it's, I mean, for me, I'm into astrology too, so I'm a Libra, and you know, as a Libra, we're non-confrontational for the most part. It's just easy for us to like, hold a grudge and like walk away and stuff. So I ended up just leaving without telling it to anybody. I mean, those same kids asked where I was gonna visit, and I give them a brief answer or no answer at all. I just swept the peace sign and left. And yeah, and then with college, college it was a cool time. I had a good time. It was tough. It had its ups and downs, but I was able to make it through. I could say it was nothing but God that gave me the strength and the ability to finish. And, I made some cool associates. I met some wonderful people along the way. I got to know myself a little bit. And then, I had the taste of what it's like to be independent. And also, I got to meet some wonderful professors as well. But it did take a toll on me mentally as well. With my mental health, I would say I developed depression according to my knowledge. I'd say officially when I was not too long after I was diagnosed with cancer and I was going through, and as I got older, my depression, it got more severe, 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 severe. And, there were times I didn't have like suicidal thoughts until not too long after I got diagnosed. I would question why I was here, and, I had thoughts. But then I never really acted on it until earlier last year. And so like a few months after that attempt last year, I began to go on this holistic health journey, and I will talk about that a little later on in the podcast future episodes. And I did therapy like in middle school and stuff. I got therapy as well as, when I was in college, I got therapy. But then after the attempt last year, I received Reiki, and I'll get into that later. And I also started taking herbal supplements and also essential oils and so forth. But with the attempt, I took alcohol, Advil or ibuprofen, something like that, and also I just drank a little of the mouthwash, and I fell into grandma's arms not too long after, and I stayed in the psychiatric hospital for almost 2 days. I mean, like I mentioned, I had suicidal thoughts like from like seventh grade, yeah, seventh grade, because that was the year I was going through the cancer, all the way down to last year. I had suicidal thoughts, but I just never had it to actually act upon it. And when I was in my apartment last year, there would be times I would pick up the ibuprofen bottle, and I was like, nah, I don't want to do it. It would be times, but then I would put it back. But then everything just starting to build up. The post-grad transition, not finding a job, low self-esteem, not feeling good about myself, friendship falling out, dealing with no good men. They all took a toll on me emotionally and mentally, even spiritually. And I just had enough. And I just acted upon it, But taking care of myself, I still have my episodes where I get depressed and stuff. But for the most part, I am making it through God, and with my auntie and grandma, I'm making it thus far. And also, to add, growing up, my auntie and grandma, they did their best that they could, and they spoiled me. And also, as I've mentioned before, I'm a Libra, so I can, I guess you could say I'm balanced. And I hope y'all enjoyed the first episode. Stay tuned for more. Thank y'all for tuning in for Conversations with Tumi. Until next time, blessings, love, and light.